So in 1982, a classmate of mine at Placer High School recalled about 10 years later about me. Nobody knew what to do with him, what to do with his brain. He was so hyperverbal. I often don't know what to do with myself. I guess I should take comfort in other people not knowing what to do with me either. My high school journalism advisor, Bob Burge, and in my senior year as the editor of the high school newspaper, Placer High School, the Hillman Messenger, I transferred to Placer High School from a private Christian school precisely because I had a journalism program, journalism class, and then the school newspaper. And Bob Burge wrote in my 1984 school yearbook, "Luke, I remember when you first joined the Messenger staff, I gave anyone permission to strangle you at any time, including me. You believe that after 3 years I haven't had to resort to that? They have been 3 exciting, lively years, to say the least, but I must compliment you for at least one thing. In 17 years of teaching, I've never had another student challenge me and keep me on my toes as much as you did. I have challenged you to remain calm in the face of disaster, to be a gentleman and a journalist, then we have both gained." Wow, did he see me clearly? Despite his best efforts, did I become either a journalist or a gentleman? Oh, how I love to be fascinating and provocative. Oh, spontaneous me. I'm struck by how often people get stuck in certain grooves of thinking. The most common track I see in the people around me is that of victim. No matter what happens, they think that other people are out to get them. Entirely neutral events, such as a phone call unreturned after 12 hours, provoke great anxiety. And that anxiety eases, they conclude that people are not trustworthy. And since 2 women could go through the identical rape experience, one would be traumatized for life, the other mourns for a few days and then goes on with her life. Sometimes a girl will not return my call and I'll not sleep soundly for a couple of days. I think my fear of abandonment kicks in and I'm just not capable of thinking about anything but this girl, who may or may not be that hot. For many guys, however, they lose no sleep over the matter. They figure she'll call when she wants to, meanwhile there are lots of fish in the sea. So I've been thinking about what are my most common thought patterns? What are the most frequent ways that I respond to stimuli? I guess I often say, nobody will tell me what to do. I'll go my own way and I'll pay the price for my choices. That's my instinct when people try to correct me or to set limits on me. Another thought pattern I have, it's useless. No matter how hard I try, I can't succeed here. I'm screwed. And there's no alternative. There's no way out. So my other responses to stimuli, I'm just going to isolate. I'm going to shut up and withdraw. I'm going to retreat. I'm going to mumble. Need to start again. If only I could have her, my problems would be solved. What can I do to get the maximum amount of attention? What can I say or do to appear most fascinating? I'm going to ignore everything until I complete this task. Other people's feelings should not squelch my expression because I'm a genius. I have all sorts of things like this rattling around in my head when my life is going at least halfway decency, out of the conviction that I can impose my will on the world around me no matter what the cost. I think the most devastating comeback to my plans is the question, so how's that working for you? So what is the primary reason I'm in this position today? I think it's the small regard I have for other people's feelings. This has served me well in many instances because it's allowed me to write with brutal honesty. Still, its overall effect has been isolating. So why do I have such little regard for other people? Because I have such little regard for myself. Why do I have such little regard for myself? I think a deep sense of shame got implanted in me very early on in my life. And as a result, I walk around with dysthymia, chronic low-grade depression. When am I most likely to live without regard for others? When I am unhappy. When I'm most likely to live with regard for others? When I am happy. So my weekly therapy sessions are as much a gift to the world as they are to me.